Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to 2023. We're here with my guy Adrian.
What's going on, guys? I know automatically you guys can see the new layout. So we got a couple announcements for you guys. So we're excited. But first and foremost, happy 2023. You know, this can be a new chapter for everybody, or this, absolutely changes nothing. So it just depends on kind of where you're at in life. But what's going on, Edgar?
One of the things we want to talk about today is the new name. We had said it was going to be Break It and Make It. Then I kind of did some more
Fine tuning,
critical thinking. And I think I finally settled down on what we're going to name this podcast, and it's going to be Impractically Practical. So the reason for that, just to give a little, on why I decided with that name, is because where we grew up, the lifestyle we're even now are already living isn't what you would call practical, right? Like you don't. Whenever you told your parents you were going to follow the entrepreneurship path, the first thing they told you was, why? You went to college, you take the traditional route, it's safer. And so that's impractical, right? To take that route.
Yep.
And so then, within the years of I wouldn't call myself successful in the sense of where I'm trying to go. But within the years of a little success that I've accomplished, I started surrounding myself with people much, much more successful than I. And the stuff that's normal to them is very unnormal to me. And especially now, things that are normal to me are very unnormal to our peers, right? The people we grew up with. So if you take the definition of the words, the word practical, the textbook definition is likely to succeed or be effective in real circumstances. Okay? So education system, right? What they teach us in high school, what they teach us in college, that's practical in their definition.
Yeah, which takes us back right to like our normal route. You said college, regular 9 to 5. So a lot of, the stable stuff that we have grown to know, right?
For sure. So then you look at the definition of impractical, and that is not adapted for use or action, nonsensical or realistic, right? So that being said, that is why I chose the name, because what's impractical to us and the people we grew up with is practical to people who grew up in the wealthier families, right? And it's vice versa. To them, it's impractical to live our way, right? So we want to make our old life or our upcomings impractically practical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Adrian's not too fond of the name, but
Yeah, no, I was just kind of doing some thinking on my own, right? What's abnormal to others may seem like a crazy idea to people in our hometown, or people that we grew up with may seem kind of like a crazy idea. But then, like you said, when you hang around people that are successful and are doing bigger things in life and have maybe already almost achieved that level, they're like, hey, you can totally do that. That's something totally upon your grasp.
yeah, and that's why one of the big things I've always kind of said to myself, and I say it to many other people that I try to motivate to be better, is you don't want to be the smartest or best person in any room, right? If you've become the smartest and best person in a certain room, you probably have to go get out,
Find another room,
and find a better room, right? And by getting out of the room, you're getting out of your comfort zone, because comfort is pretty much what kills progress, right? And so that's kind of what the reason I'm telling you. That's one of the biggest reasons why I went with this name, is because I want to influence people and motivate people, inspire people to chase the better them, right? There's a better version of yourself on the other side of fear. So you need to kind of break that barrier and make what's now impractical practical. Okay. So any other comments you have on that, Adrian? Anything you want to kind of hit on the name?
No, and this is just so everyone's aware. This is something that he kind of just came across to me today. We've been kind of picking out different names and kind of falling in and out of love of different podcast names. So we wanted it to sound catchy. We wanted it to be simple. But at the end of the day, we wanted it to, most importantly, I think, portray the message, at least hit the message that we're trying to portray. So that's the most important thing, impractically practical. A little tongue twister there for you guys.
Well, we're not gonna, like I told Gus, we're not gonna be racing to say this name. I'm not gonna bet anybody that I can say it faster than you. As long as you can say it, it's impractically practical.
Practically
right?
practical. I love it.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to, we're in that time of year. We're about 2 days late because of how, it fell on the weekend and then Nathan's party and kind of got me starting on a Tuesday, But the club goes up on Tuesdays, right? So, let's go ahead and talk about the time of year we're in right now, New Year's resolutions and goal setting and all the stuff that everybody promises themselves they're going to do. And realistically, by February 1st, there's probably 30% of people that fell off, if not more. And then, it's a domino effect after that. The next month, it's less and less and more people quitting, less people committed. So with that being said, what I kind of want to move on to is something that I'm kind of even having to practice myself, right? Every single year, I've supposedly committed to losing weight or being healthier in whatever way. I've always stuck more to my financial goals and my business goals, but not my health goals. And that's pretty stupid, to be honest, because,
Health is wealth.
exactly. Yeah. So,
So real quick. So are you that type of person who every year when it comes down to the new year have set goals, like have set like a challenge for yourself? Do you do that? Do you tend to do that every year?
no, I think this year is the first year that I've actually came in and made it a real goal,
challenge.
Something that I think every other year it was that's what I want to talk about. Every other year it's been like, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna go to the gym, right? But there was no system behind it. There was nothing behind it. It was just, I want to look better, right? I think because of many reasons, this year it's not about looking better or about a certain number on the scale. I think this year, and shit, for all we know, 3 months from now I'm gonna be like, fuck, remember when I thought I was gonna go through with this? Hopefully not. But what I'm getting at is, this year's more about health, right? So we're only getting older, and before we know it, we're 45, 50, 60 years old, and wishing that we would have made better decisions when we were younger. Because I've had a couple conversations with people, and the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight, to just simply stay active, right? And so I want to get a head start on that now, because I'm still young, but I'm getting to not being that young anymore, But anyway, so that's why I want to talk about creating a system and not just setting a absurd goal that you're not even gonna. I'm gonna make, if you've only made $100,000 a year and your goal is to make 10 million this next year. I mean, come on, So you want to make realistic goals. First of all, let's go ahead and get down kind of to the system that I'm going to try to apply myself, and hope that because of the sort of research that I've done on this kind of stuff, how I can help you guys, our audience, kind of actually reach your goals. You know what I mean? So the first thing, I think, how to not give up on your goals in 2023, right? The reason people don't accomplish their goals usually is because they lose motivation, right? So can you relate to this? Have you ever kind of set a goal and then out of nowhere, 2-3 months later, you kind of even forgot you ever even set that goal?
You know what? I actually was working on my best year ever planner that we started working on this year. That's kind of one of the things that we're going to start implementing too as our like daily habits. But that's kind of one of the things that I put, like motivation, I put discipline is greater than motivation. Because motivation is very, very short-lived, and it can be maybe one of those things that's very positive as far as it kind of accelerating you towards your goal, or it kind of being like a spark. But motivation, as we all know, dies very, very quick,
very fast.
And it can also kind of kill your goals and your dreams if motivation was attached to it. That's why.
But I think to get to the root of this, I think the reason that people start to lose motivation is, for one, you don't see the results right away, right? So we'll go back to instant gratification.
Yeah.
Right. So you go to the gym, you eat healthy. I'm talking health wise, but if your goal is I'm gonna save 20 grand this year, and you're 2 months into the year and you've only saved $200, you slowly start to feel like your goal is now unrealistic, right? And so you kind of want to have a system down and work it backwards, right? So here's the first thing that I recommend to people to not lose motivation, right? The way to not lose motivation is don't spread yourself too thin, right? Don't overstimulate or overwhelm yourself. So what you're gonna do is you're not gonna pick 10 goals, you're not gonna pick 15 goals, you're not gonna pick 30. You're gonna pick your top 3, right? So you're gonna make your top 3 goals.
What's the most important to you?
So you can go ahead and have 30 goals, right? But you're going to narrow it down to 3. If you're an overachiever and you're good at multitasking, then go ahead and pick 5, right? But if you narrow it down to 3 primary goals, I want to make more money this year, I want to lose weight or be healthier, and I want to take a trip. If those are your 3 goals, it's very easy to do the backward math and know how you're going to achieve those goals, right? So, for example, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, right? Let's say that's your goal. Okay, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, what everybody wants is to lose it in a month, right? I want to lose it. I'm gonna get on keto, or I'm gonna get on this, and I'm gonna follow a diet as strict as I can. I'm gonna go cold turkey. I'm gonna do all of this stuff, but then a month and a half later, you're like, man, fuck that diet. I can't sustain this anymore. Fuck this. And then you go, and what I call that is fake weight loss, right? So you lost the weight. Yes, it was fast or whatever. But once you came off that diet, you gained it all back, right? And then now you're starting to gain weight again on accident. And now you're starting to lose focus on why you're even at the gym every morning, right? So a little side note, the reason I go to the gym, I tell this to everybody, wasn't even for my health. It sounds crazy. Every morning, getting up at the time I get up, and I don't say a certain time because I was really inconsistent these last 2 months, but when I would go to the gym, you feel more, you like I put on my social media today, you got to start the day with a win, right? Once you start the day with a win, and then, so here was my morning today. 5 a.m. I was up. That's already a win because in my goal setting thing, I put wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. I woke up at 4:59, but I woke up at 5. So I was out of my bed by 5. That's already win number 1. I filled out my journal in the morning. That's win number 2. I went to the gym. That's win. By 6 a.m. I had 3 wins already. You know what I mean? And so that kind of gives you, that slowly gives you the motivation to like go to the next, right?
Yeah, you're stacking up those wins, you build that momentum, and you set yourself up to have a really good day.
How many days does your alarm ring and you snooze it and go back to sleep?
All the time.
That's you already taking a loss, right? So when you think about it that way, that's what I told myself this morning. And I know it's day 1 and it's easy to be motivated in the first day. So like you said, discipline beats motivation, right? Okay, but what's going to drive you there initially is motivation. You can't be disciplined before you're motivated, right? So what I'm getting at is when you set up, whatever your goal is, and you pick your top 3, you break them down, okay? So what's it going to take for me to lose 50 pounds? Well, for me to lose 50 pounds, realistically and sustainable, I would probably be able to lose maybe 5 a week, right? That's like not cold turkey diet and like, killing myself at the gym for 3 hours and doing 2 miles of cardio. Like that's unsustainable, right? For someone like me. Now, if you're a runner and you do cross country and stuff, well, that's probably easy. For a guy like me, 1 mile a day and a 1 hour workout a day is already a change from what I'm used to. Aside from that, my eating habits. So I'm not going to get too into detail. What I'm getting at is simply setting up a system to work it backwards. Okay, if I could lose 5 pounds a day, it's going to take me, a week. Then it's going to take me 10 weeks to get to 50. Well, we know that it's not going to work that way, right? That's why I'm saying you got to really, I don't want to spend too much time on this one topic, but what I'm getting at is you got to work it backwards and figure out what is it going to take to get there, right? We'll talk about work, real estate. Well, in order to close, on an escrow, I need to open this many, and in order to open this many, I got to talk to this many people. Well, I got to have this many qualified people or people paying cash. In order to have that, I need this, and then you narrow it down to I need to make this many phone calls every single day in order to get to that, right? But if you don't have that system, you're just shooting blanks. You don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks, right? Okay, so that's the number 1. You have any comments on that, Adrian?
I think we've touched on a couple, right? Kind of overstimulating yourself, choosing too many goals. That's why we want to narrow it always down to 3 or 5. And then within those 3 or 5, break those down, right? Like you said,
sure.
50 pounds. Okay, then, every week, what's an ideal number of pounds you can lose, right? Typically, it's, you can lose 2 pounds a week.
And you can talk to a nutritionist or you can go get a body scan and they'll tell you a real number.
Right now there's so many resources. Get a body scan, talk to somebody. There's apps now. And even if you track your meals, you're gonna have a lot of resources to be able to track that.
And to be devil's advocate to what people say is like, don't make your goal too easy. Dude, if you've never done this shit, make it easy. Take a win. It don't mean that if I lose 10 pounds, I have to stop because I already achieved my goal. You know what I mean? You can keep going. But if I say I'm gonna lose 200 pounds this year, I mean, that's stupid, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like, make it easy and make it obtainable.
You
right?
know what? And I feel like that comes down to the person. There's people who love to set really not unrealistic goals, but really high expectations for themselves because they know if even they get half the way there, they've already won in their mind, right? They know that
that's not a win though.
But I mean, for example, like let's say you do want to lose 50 pounds, right? Which that's a lot of weight. Let's say 80 pounds, and you get halfway there. I mean, knowing that
you're better than where you were.
You're better than where you were. Yes.
But you still didn't get your goal.
You didn't hit the goal, but you're obviously way better than you were 6 months from the day you set that goal. Obviously, 80 pounds is still realistic, depending on where you're at. But
how do you work? Okay, so I mean, we're being very, very, very exaggerated with these numbers.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm getting at, though. That if you're trying to create a system and work backwards math, it has to be realistic. Again, I can't go and say I'm going to make 10 million this year if the most I've ever made is 100,000. How are you going to make 10 million if you don't have the resources, you don't have the money for the investments, you don't have the relationships? You got to be realistic with yourself, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of I think we touched on pretty much everything, right? But on this topic, like I said, you really want to focus on scoring your wins and losses. Do a daily log, right? Or even weekly.
So yeah, our best year ever planner includes. It's pretty much like a point system, right? It's pretty much a
sponsored by the best year ever.
Darren Hardy. Get us some more books. But yeah, so what it is you're essentially just stacking up all your habits that you're doing throughout the week. And then at the end of the day, you kind of evaluate yourself. You give yourself a score. So if you say you're going to work out, for example, meditate, read a book, you're going to track yourself Monday through Sunday on all these, right? And pretty much tally up all the points and see what you've scored. So it's pretty much your expected, right?
Yeah. So your expected, your goal, and then your net. What you actually do.
At the end of the day, you'll be able to really visualize and see, damn, like I was way off, or like, damn, I actually, completed all the stuff I said I was gonna do. So then that, if you stack a win every day and you start to mark off these boxes, you're obviously going to feel really good about yourself, and you're going to continue that momentum for the next week, the next month, the next 2 months.
It's about the wins. You gotta stack up those wins. Small wins are still a win. You know what I mean? And it gives you that motivation that you need, right, to keep going. Because when you're feeling motivated, so what happens when? Let's talk about weight loss, because I think that's like majority of people's resolution New Year's, right? So let's talk about weight loss. When you get on the scale 2 weeks later and you lost 8 pounds, doesn't that motivate you to keep going? Versus you get on the scale and you're actually heavier. Well, for someone that's trying to lose weight, that you're actually heavier, you're just like, man, fuck this. I've been running for 2 weeks, didn't lose shit. I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's important to make those strides. Whatever your goal is to gain weight, to lose weight, to put on muscle, to finally get those 6-pack abs. Obviously it's going to take a long while for you to see. You have to, you reap what you sow. So you gotta, sow a long time in order to reap those rewards.
Well, and then we'll touch on this comment that I wanted to say is, you got to picture yourself at the deadline, right? So you picture yourself at the deadline, and where are you gonna stand? Are you gonna be on the sideline because you're a fucking quitter, or are you gonna be at the finish line because you actually accomplished what you promised yourself? You didn't promise me. You didn't promise anybody. You promised yourself. So if you can keep your word to yourself, you're at the finish line, right? If you're a quitter, then you're on the sideline. What line do you prefer to be at 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months from now? And I guarantee you, when you're at that line, you're going to look back to day one. You're going to look back to today and say, fuck, I wish I would have done it. Or I'm fucking glad I did that for myself, right? What position do you want to be at when you get to the deadline? You got to really process that.
Yeah, that's powerful. And I think that's why I'm really excited for this year, because yeah, I've always set like goals that I've never really written down. They've always kind of been like goals that I've always just told myself that, hey, I'm going to do this for sure this year. Or, hey, I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to accomplish this time. But this time we have a challenge in place. Like we have, people that are doing it with us to keep us accountable. We're gonna be actually tracking our stuff,
And we got fucking skin in the game, bro.
yeah,
That's what you have to do too, and it's simple. The way we did it was, if you finish, you don't lose. Oh, I'm scared to lose $1,000. Then don't fucking lose. It's not like you're betting. You're not like hoping someone else does something for you.
at the end of the day, you're betting on yourself, right?
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
like J. Cole said, like, you know, if I'm betting on myself, then I'm gonna completely double down, right? Because
Yeah.
if it's 5 a.m. and your alarm clock's ringing, there's birds singing. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna start rapping in it?
If it's 5 a.m. and the alarm clock's ringing, and you know that you owe it to yourself to, you know, kind of complete these goals, and not even that, you just made a promise to yourself so that in 90 days, so our challenge is actually 90 days. So in 90 days, at the end of March, we're going to look back and be like, shit, like, you know, I've had a fucking great quarter. I had a great first quarter. Like, let's really build on this. Like, okay, how can I improve those 90 days? Because, you know, they're not going to be perfect.
For sure.
As long as you don't miss a day.
I mean, just fucking get there. You know what I mean? Like, there's times that I really do not want to go to the gym. And I'm like, I'm going to just go and I'm going to just walk for 10 minutes on the treadmill. And then you're there and like, how am I really going to fucking be here and not work out? And then you work out. And that's probably one of your best workouts ever. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, so just go. Just freaking go. In the morning when your alarm rings, get up. You told yourself you would. You didn't tell anybody else, like I said earlier. You told yourself. So fucking do it, right? Well, I want to talk about two quotes that right now have really kind of hit home, and I feel like it's going to be a big part into. I'm going to look at this. I'm actually going to put it on my screensaver so that every day when I don't want to do something, I just take a look at that and say, look, you told yourself, right? So one of them is we must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, right? Both. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it ends there. So the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Jim Rohn said that, right? Both of them are hard to bear, right? But which hard do you want to deal with, right? So there's another quote that says, "Choose your hard."
Choose your hard.
Right. So what hard do you want? Do you want to live? Do you want to be regretful at the end, or joyful that you actually stuck to it? And then the other one is when you feel like quitting. Whenever you feel like I can't do this shit no more, I'm gonna take a page from Ed Milet's book. Is just do it for one more day. So just do it one more day. Every time you feel like quitting, just do it for one more day, and I promise you, you will not regret that shit.
You know where Ed Milet got like one more day from?
From his dad, right?
Yeah, from his dad. So he actually, his dad was an alcoholic, and he asked his dad, like, "Hey, Dad, so are you gonna actually stop drinking?" And he says, "I'm gonna stop drinking for one more day."
Yeah, no, he told him, "Are you gonna stop drinking for the rest of your life?"
Oh yeah.
And he says, "I don't know, son, but I know that I'm gonna just not drink for one more day." That's powerful. If you don't know who Ed Milet is, I need you to log off of my podcast and go check him out. It's powerful.
Well, wait till we finish. But
But anyway, that's all I had for you guys today. You know, we have 2023. We're at the door. It just cracked open, and we have so much stuff that we can accomplish this year. You know, with the help of your peers, and honestly, I will tell you guys something that whether your circle's small or it's big, whether you believe in the people around you or whether they believe in you. You know, not right now is where you really gotta tally down what's important to you, and where you want to be 5, 10, 15 years from now. Because as young as you think you are, we're only getting older. Not one day do you get younger, okay? And so the people around you, whether you want to accept it or not, don't always have the best intentions for you, right? They want to see you doing good, but not better than them, correct? So what I did and what I recommend many people do is really sit down and say, does this person really even benefit my life? Because I sure as hell benefit theirs, and they take that shit for granted, right? So just really, it's brutal and it's something hard to do. But right now at this time of year, it's whenever everyone's trying to make a life-changing decision, right? Yeah. And so you're trying to change your life. You're trying to be a better person. You need to listen to podcasts. You need to read books. You need to develop your mind before you do anything.
Yeah, definitely keep good people around you. You know, keep people that are gonna force you to level up. You know, back to where I got this from high school. You know, pick your friends, pick your goals. And I think that's very powerful. So I've come to learn that too. Once you surround yourself with different individuals, it's almost like your mindset begins to change. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys want to hop on the challenge with us, please join us. This is going to really put some pressure on Edgar and I and the gang to really, you know, double down on ourselves and attack these goals. So 90 days from now, we could look back and be 88 days.
88 days. Yeah, we started on the 3rd, so we're missing 2 days. But if anybody wants to join us, let's briefly talk to you about what it is. You got to drink a gallon of water a day. You got to exercise you got to go to the gym 5 days a week. It doesn't matter what days. You got to do cardio at least 1 mile 7 days a week. You have to you could only drink one time a week or a total of 12 days in 90 days. Is there anything I'm missing on there? Oh, an accountability picture. So you got to send an accountability picture, pretty much, like a progress pic every single time you accomplish one of the daily goals. And then read a book. So you gotta read a book. Now, just for
and then Monday through Friday, clean eating. No fried or fast food.
No fried or fast food. Now, one thing I do want to mention, because I do know we have followers and audience that actually listens to all of our stuff, and they know Gus and they know Jose. And
I'm gonna shout out my boy Sal Romero, all the way from Kerman. I mean, not from Kerman. Where's he from? He's up north. No, he's up north, close to Fresno. He's been watching our episodes.
Shout out to you, man, and then also my boy Alan and Bernie. We actually get a few of our friends that actually, like what we're doing here. But anyway, the reason I brought that up is because I want you guys all to know that Gus agreed to doing this, and then now he's backing out. So if you guys get to watch this, go ahead and reach out to him and let him know that he has to join us. And we'll let you guys know if he actually accomplishes his stuff today. You want to turn that mic on? Go ahead, dog.
Go ahead, Gus.
You got something to say?
You got something to say? Thoughts?
Well, it was a quick one. And then go ahead.
And practically practical.
Yeah, you got to say it. But we'll go ahead and still have Sterling Hill's episode air on Friday. This one will be airing, today you guys are watching it, but this will be airing on Wednesday. On Wednesday. Well, it was glad to have you guys here, and thank you for watching.
See you soon. The next one's going to be a banger.